Hello, you guys. Welcome. I have to do everything myself, so yes, I have to stand up and get it all ready and prepared. Welcome, welcome. One second, you guys. 1 second. Welcome. 1 second. Let me just get this link to Lumi. Moment. Okie dokie. It's fun to be the one to do all this work. Okay, let me just get her this link, invite link, copy invite link, gmail.com. 1 second. Hey guys, welcome. Happy Halloween. Welcome to the podcast. Just give me a second. I have to do this really quick, and I don't know. You gotta follow me up. 1 second. Oh, God. All right. One second. You know what I'm just gonna do? I'm just gonna give her the link through here. 1 second. Find this. Yes, I know you guys. I just have to. It's because it's hard because I'm doing it by myself. Okay. The meeting passcode is 084592. She should be able to get on like that. Okay, welcome guys. Hi, yes. Happy Halloween. Welcome to my podcast. I'm sorry that it's me getting it set up. Love and light to you guys. Love and light. Hello, sorry you guys. I'm so sorry. Welcome, welcome. Happy Halloween. Can you guys see me good? Awesome. Awesome. Awesome sauce. How's everybody doing? Happy Halloween. How's everybody doing? You doing good? We have a special guest tonight. Her name is Lumi Pelinku, and she is an astrologer. And she is, I don't have the meeting ID. Excuse me. I'm a little slow right now. I just didn't give her the meeting ID. I gave her the meeting passcode, not the ID. Okay, great. Awesome. Okay. 1 second. Am I able to join me? Okay. 1 second. Sorry, guys. Okay. 815-086-47650. Oh boy, she's probably like, what is this girl doing? Yeah, that's why I should have done this before and like how to set up. Anyway, it's fine. I'm doing the best that I can with what I got by myself. So we have a good show for you tonight. Obviously, happy Halloween to everybody. Happy Halloween. So I wanted to do tonight was a special night because I've been getting into astrology lately. If you guys want to ask questions, just go over onto YouTube because I'm not going to be able to look at the comments on Instagram. I'm only going to be able to just keep talking pretty much. I can't really see anything on Instagram. So if you guys don't mind, if you want to ask any questions, just go on over to YouTube and I could read the comments there and whatever questions you have. She's an astrologer. Her name is Lumi. She's coming on in a few minutes. Hopefully she got everything there and we're good. She's coming on in a few minutes. Hi, everybody. Love and light to you. I love you guys. Love and light. Happy Halloween. If you guys are not doing nothing tonight on Halloween, well, welcome. Join the club because same thing here, okay? I was pretty much cleaning all day and throwing things out and organizing, especially because, you know, whenever a new moon, excuse me, let me just fix my boobs here a little bit. Great. Awesome. There we go. We got titties now. All right. So I always, before when the new moon happens and the energies are changing, I love to like reorganize and redo my room and stuff like this. And, you know, I do that because I feel like when the new moon comes, and the new energy comes, it's time for like regrouping and restructuring. It's like taking out the old and allowing in the new type of energy. So I always like to do that when the new moon or the full moon comes in. So again, if you guys want to ask questions or anything, please come into YouTube so that I could see your questions. Anybody could be here. This is a open podcast. It's open to the public. Tonight we're discussing astrology, and I do have a professional astrologer on here. You guys obviously can book her. I'll have her plug her information. I'll put all her links on the bottom of this video. She is an amazing astrologer, and the funny thing is, when I first went to her, I thought I was born at 9:17 at night, but it was the morning. And so Lumi, there she goes. Hey, oh my God, I'm so excited. Yay. Oh my God, look how gorgeous you look. Oh my God. Isn't she beautiful, you guys? Tell me she is not a stunning, beautiful queen.
How are you?
I think are you on mute, or is my computer on low? Hold on.
No, my mute is on.
Go ahead. Hi.
Hey, can you hear me now?
You look gorgeous, darling.
Thank you.
Wow, you look, I mean, obviously you're a beautiful, gorgeous, stunning woman, but tonight you're just radiant, you're shining. So I'm gonna have her introduce herself, all right? So I want to just really quickly break this down really quick. I started this podcast and my main goal was like, I want to bring people that have a lot of knowledge in the things that they do that are like, for me, feel like they do it like with a pure heart. Now, I'm going to say this, and this is not to judge any other astrologers, Lumi. I don't want you to take it that way, but here's the thing. When I watch other astrologers, I almost feel like they kind of like make you feel, and this is a big one for me, they make you feel like, okay, you guys, so Mars is trine Saturn, and you have to be upset with the planets. And like, to me, it's like, I feel like they're pushing that on you instead of letting you know, if you're feeling this way, it's because of this reason. You understand? All right, so everybody, I'm gonna have Lumi come on, because I've been struggling with this astrology thing, because there's somebody I was watching, and she all of a sudden started doing astrology, and the way she does it confuses the living shit out of me, and I can never understand what she's saying. So I wanted to have you on to clarify some things for people. She's also into it, right? She's empathic. She does readings as well. She doesn't just do astrology. So I'm gonna have you introduce yourself and let everybody know what you do.
My name is Lumi Pelinku. I'm an astrologer. I was born and raised in New York. I've been an astrologer for many years, and to start my life story, astrology literally landed on my lap when I was 11 years old. That was around the time I could tell you about an astrology event. It's called the Jupiter return. And Jupiter is also known as the guru, the teacher. And oftentimes, whenever there's cycles around every 12 years, that's when auspicious events occur. So it's quite fitting that astrology did end up in my life around the age of 12. So in my case, astrology has been a really, really passion of mine. And oftentimes when I was young as a child, I often felt things very deeply, was very intuitive as a child. I did not even understand how to harness my gifts, because, the conformist kind of mainstream media or even the schooling system doesn't really have a great understanding to extend empathy or understanding for beings who are different. So in my case, I very much was deeply felt, like feeling as an individual, very much sensitive to the needs of others. And I oftentimes, even as a child, was really like helpful into extending my insights in the astrology. And was really learning all about that stuff. Even for myself, I gained such a deeper understanding in terms of how these astrological events could unfold in your life. And if you understand these things from the get-go, you actually are able to breeze past them with so much more control and more grace and more understanding whenever things don't go your way. Right. So that's why I love astrology, because astrology is not doom and gloom and end all be all. It's actually open-ended and healing in a way. And it helps you navigate through paths with much more ease and understanding and comfort. So that's why I became an astrologer. Very much so, my 20s, very much connected to all the walks of life, gained my experience as a hairstylist, but even as a hairstylist, I was still doing astrology behind the chair with each client.
That's awesome. Oh my God.
I know. And I just, I would have my clients pull up their charts on their phone. I was foiling their hair or doing their haircuts and all that stuff. So I was like, my clients were like, wow, I have a hair astrologer. And I was like, yeah, I love talking about beauty. Even my brand alone, I talk about like how to bring more beauty in your life, not necessarily the aesthetics, like our vessel as humans, but more about bringing more about beauty in terms of your energy. So I'm very much Venus focused and very Pluto focused. And we can even talk about that later, Florina, when we get through this podcast. But in my story, I really want to connect with people on a very empathetic level, and just to give them so much hope and give them the strength and empowerment to help themselves get out of certain situations. And astrology could be that powerful of a tool when you learn how to use it. So that's pretty much my story.
That's amazing. I want to tell you, for me, I feel like intuitively, when I'm going through my big shift, which is coming now, like right now is where I feel like I'm going through my big change. I do completely understand when you say the 12-year cycle. I would say I was in a 11-year learning lessons and phases of like really destructive behaviors and things like this. And wherever I was before planted me the seeds for me to do what I'm doing now, just like with you. You recognize at 12 years old, I did, but I was shut out a lot by everybody around me. They'd be like, what are you talking about? Like, you sound crazy. Don't talk about that. And, I kind of like got scared from it. And that's why what you said about wanting to like be genuine, and also that there's not these things in school to let us know, that is one of my goals. Hopefully, if God's willing, if the stars are aligned, right? And I can start my school one day and have like young people come in who are gifted and they can be nurtured through this process, because that's the problem I feel like with a lot of people. That's why I started my school for the spiritually gifted. As much as it's for adults, me teaching them, they're teaching their kids through that, so it's beautiful. Like, and you said Pluto. So I'm looking here because I got like a little chart because I wanted to be prepared for you. So you said you're like so I know Venus is your love nature, right? And Pluto, it says here, your need for fundamental change. Okay. So you're constantly evolving. Okay.
Yes. And it's very much involved with transformational, cathartic moments of understanding yourself. It's like you're going through lots of shedding of the skin, so to speak, like the snake. If you condense yourself or preserve too much of your own being, just for the reasons of protective instincts. But really, when you're going through changes, you need to go with the change. You know what I mean? And if you actually resist it, very much like the snake, if you don't, you die, or you feel most toxic. And in a way, it poisons you when you don't go through the changes and embrace that. And that's very much Pluto, and wherever it touches in your birth chart. And I know with you, it's so funny. When I was looking at your birth chart, I don't remember birth charts all the time, but with yours in particular, I remember now. You have Pluto in the first house, and I have Pluto in the first house. Very close in conjunction to your ascendant. And that's very much all about cathartic moments and cathartic experiences that you go through your life. Like every day you're going through a new experience. Yeah, my cat's jumping on my keyboard. So forgive me.
All the time, I swear. So when you're saying that, I wanted to mention this, that so one of the things, like, I do go through a lot of changes, and what people don't know is like, they see me like standing strong and standing tall, but I go through a lot of dark nights of the soul, a lot of shedding, and death and a rebirth happens for me every 3 to 4 months. I'm going through heavy death and rebirths, like, but I know why. Okay. So everybody knows they have a mission on this planet. Everybody, I don't care who you are. You could be the janitor, the guy who cleans the hotel rooms. It doesn't matter. You have a mission on this earth, and no matter how small or how big it is, we're all playing a specific role here on this earth, right? You can choose whatever that is. But what I love about astrology is like, it always feels like I'll be going through something, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I'll check like to see what's going on, and I'm like, oh, like right now, Scorpio is the new moon of Scorpio, right?
Yeah, the new moon Scorpio is coming up this week.
Okay, so now I'm going to say something. I always hear this about Scorpios, like the truth comes out, secrets are revealed, because obviously is the under the belly type of shit for the Scorpios. Now, one thing I will tell you, in my astral world, I am traveling, I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere, right? My dreams are so vivid. Nobody can tell me that they're just dreams. I know I'm in different dimensions. I know that for a fact. I wake up, and at this present time, I'm going to say, all like, there's an energy that I feel was kind of like holding me down. And I have to say for everyone, this is just really quickly for past life stuff. If you have an attachment from a past life or even a past life soulmate that things didn't work out so well, they could still be latched on and attached to us in some form or another. This could be through family and stuff. Don't forget in ancient Egypt, brothers and sisters married each other and cousins married each other. So if you have an attachment as a family member, I promise you, I know it's weird, but I can feel like a family member who was attached to me. And at this time in Scorpio, is coming up, the new moon in Scorpio, I am seeing them be revealed in my dreams. Like my other family members will show me this person coming in and doing this and doing that, and it's all being revealed. So if you're having, if you correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're right now, if you are having moments where things are being revealed to you, I'm going to say this to you. If you want to transform and you really want to do, like, I guess, spiritual awakenings or whatever you want to call it, a lot of people don't, because they don't want to let go of the shit they're doing right now. People don't want to let go of the party and the hanging out. It's not easy to be it's not a good girl to be, quote unquote, practicing your spiritual awareness, getting your spiritual enlightenment going on. Listen, man, it's not easy. Okay. It's a lot of lonely times. You're at home, you're lonely, you're in your own little bubble, right? And so, like, just so everybody knows, if you're going through a transformation right now, please let me explain to them what this transformation will be and what, and I have other questions, but I want you to explain.
For the new moon you're talking about, right?
Yeah, please.
It's explain. So auspicious because I've been starting to put fixed stars in my astrology readings, and you probably heard about fixed stars before, right?
Yes.
Well, it's basically
explain it to them. Yeah.
Constellations beyond the 12 zodiac belt, like the 12 zodiac that we all know. That's like what caters to the sun signs and the seasons, whereas the fixed stars are the ones that are beyond the ecliptic belt. Mm-hmm. So I'm talking about Canis Major, I'm talking about Sirius, I'm talking about all those constellations. So in this case, with the new moon of Scorpio, the constellation Acrux is going to be the close vantage point with the new moon. So the Acrux is actually the constellation in association of perseverance, achieving a level of mastery in one's achievements, like whatever, like they're focused on their own like long-term goal. Acrux will give you the problem-solving mechanism to actually achieve these things. Like you'll have a game plan. These, like, in a way, you're going to have a much more clear guide map as to how you're going to get there. And at times, you might be more inclined to designating the help of spirit, designating the help of your guides, your angels, anybody, any soul or spirit that you're affiliated with. You're going to become much more connected within that realm. So that's why this Scorpio new moon is going to be very powerful, because that's like the new phase of our own awareness and how we're going to be attaining that level of help. It's going to be through the divine intervention.
That's insane.
As opposed to just saying, there's no one out there to help support me. There's no one out there. I can't help myself. This is beyond me. I'm not going to do anything about it. But with Acrux, it looks like a cross in the sky. Okay. And it's on the southern point of the cross, which means that's a direct link of how we're going to be achieving that level of understanding what we need to do, as well as our connection to divine will be a lot stronger.
That is so interesting that I like I said, I keep up with astrology, not too much though, because there are times when, the planets will be this way, that way. And
you dive in too deep. Yes. It's a lot of layers. I know.
It's a lot of layers. And
I know.
One thing that I have this thing, I'm like, definitely when it comes to astrology, I want like the basic information, because the Saturn square trine, this, that, I'm like, wait, I can't, it's too much for me. Like I try to look at the chart and I'm like, what the fuck actually is going on right now? I don't understand. Like, it's like, that's why I say you got to be a fucking genius to do astrology. I don't care what anybody says.
It's very alchemical. It's a lot of science.
It is.
If you integrate the two principles together, you have to learn the basics.
Right.
You add on intuition. And it's very funny you say that, because when you look too much at the logics of the astrology, you're going to get into an endless study, and we'll never, like, I always continually study.
Yeah.
But the intuition, actually, from astrologers, sometimes people are more strongly inclined more to the scientific, others intuition. I'm more inclined towards the intuitive side.
Yes, you
That
are.
actually helps me become much more scientific when I
I
know
mean,
the basics.
I can look at you and I don't even need to like look at your face or like I just when the energy comes to me, you know what I'm hearing, you know that they show that thing, right? And they're like, oh, when you play this for your cat, they remember they were worshipped in Egypt at one point. You know that sound, like the ancient Egypt.
Yes,
I actually see a vision of you. I'm getting the chills on my crown chakra.
I know about that one. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
and I see the vision of you like walking through like it's like people are like oh she's here like they're like shaking when you walk in the room type of thing. And I'm not saying that to like gas you up. That's what I see, you know, and I've always seen it. And I could tell you something. If someone, and I'm sure this happens to you, if someone in astrology or somebody who will approach me and be like, oh, I want to do a podcast with you or I want to do this, I will see that person in my dream and spirit will be like, blah 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 my ass, like they'll make fun of them like they're not really that, you know what I'm saying, like but you hold true. And this is in all seriousness, you guys, you know I don't fuck with people that I don't fuck with, you know that. And it's because I feel the realness or I could feel the fakeness coming from miles away. So that's why I wanted her on here. And plus if you guys have any questions, you're always welcome to ask. You know, real quickly, you know, you got your fire signs, earth signs, air signs, water signs. Fire is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Earth sign is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Okay. So I wanted you to quickly like explain just a real quick rundown of like what are cardinal, fixed, and mutable signs. What does it mean when you're cardinal or mutable or fixed?
So cardinals are the initiators of the zodiac. They are Aries, Libra, Capricorn, Cancer. Those four zodiac signs in particular are the starting point of new seasons, which means, as we know, the end of winter, when Aries season begins, that's the beginning of spring. And it's usually of the first push towards the initiation of change. And when you have a cardinal ruled sign, you're meant to be the one who paves the way through for changes to occur. That's a cardinal energy.
Okay.
Now, with fixed signs, they're the sustainers, they're the preservers. Their movement is more continuous and consistent. So that's the signs Aquarius, Leo, Taurus, Scorpio. Okay. So those energies, it takes a lot for them to change their routine and momentum. Like if they keep going in one way, they need to keep going in that way until they take it upon themselves to actually initiate a different route. There has to be some sort of external force to get them actually to change their course, you know?
So they're fixed. They're like fixed. Like somebody,
yes.
You can't change their mind. They're stuck in their ways.
So you can think of it this way, you know, like the wheel that you have in the beginning, the push is cardinal, the fix is the continuous movement down the hill. Okay. Now the mutable signs are the ones who are very much associated with spreading a message in some way. They're more passive. Yeah, that's me. I'm a mutable too, Pisces. So we're more about like, we gained all the information from the past other 8 signs, and we're meant to spread this level of knowledge for others. So this is the signs Gemini, Gemini, Sagittarius, Pisces, Virgo. So, you know, these are the individuals. So sometimes when life throws too much at them, though, they could get a little too lost in the information.
I see your, you know, what's interesting is we have Gemini and Virgo together with immutable signs, and Sagittarius and Pisces being the opposite of Virgo, right? Which is now I know Geminis to be very flighty and very like when you communicate with them, they could take things very personally or the wrong way. It happens a lot with a lot of Geminis. I know they tend to be overly analytical and paranoid a lot and during conversations. As a Virgo, I analyze everything. However, I'm learning to let go of control, and I've let like the universe kind of take over, because when I was in trying to control everything, it was just madness. Okay. Like what I know about Pisces women, a lot of them, when they're business mind and they're focused, they are so grounded and so like good. Like they're just magical. But when they're not grounded.
Oh boy. Yeah, I know.
Bro.
I know. You got to find them in the dark corner crying and
oh my God. That's literally every time I hung out with Pisces and Sagittarius people, women, especially the women, if they're not grounded, bitch, they're crazy. Like they're crazy. Like I'm nervous. I'm paranoid. They're always nervous. Like they're always like fucking anxiety. And I got to say this for you guys so you understand this. When you have your sign, I feel like I was looking into like ancient Greek mythology and astrology. I was putting it together and I was realizing that whatever sign you come in as, it's like almost like you're meant to, you were born that sign because there was lessons you needed to learn through that sign. Mm-hmm. For instance, I'm a Virgo, always wanting control, but like so crazy that my lesson in this lifetime was more like to let go, not to be so like stuck on it, like once I started to let go a little bit, things started to flow towards me. And when I was like in control too much, and as a Pisces woman, I would feel, a lot of Pisces women have a problem with finances. They don't know how to save money because they like the finer things in life. Okay. So is that right? Am I right? Because
guilty as charged for me, but I am business savvy for me at this point. But in the beginning, I mean, we love beautiful things. We love things that make us feel good. And like the Pisces energy on a whim, they get very much lost into the materialistic side of things. So with the Pisces energy, they contain lots of facets of different zodiac signs in one. They're the last sign of the zodiac. So they hold on to different signs and themes. And that's the reason why they could fall into the Taurus trap of being too locked into luxuries, and the Libra trap of like really,
Capricorns are also very materially based.
They're more business savvy and they want to just achieve mastery. They just want to make it big in the world and do well monetary way.
Right.
But with the Taurus, they're more like luxurious.
Yeah, they are.
Those are the two earth signs we're talking about here. Yeah.
So I want you to explain to everybody, and if anybody has any questions, you can start to write them down and I will get them answered for you. I wanted you to explain, like, if someone was to come to you for an astrology reading, right? Like, so if I was like, let's say someone here, because guys, I'm not telling you what to do. Use your intuition always as usual. But if you want to book an astrologer, she's worth and first of all, her prices are amazing, just so you guys understand that. Okay. Like, I'm just going to tell you, if you want healing and help with things, I will never recommend you to somebody who's trash. Just going to let you know that right now. So I wanted to explain to somebody, let's say they were to book you, right? What's the process? Like, people always want to know what happens during your readings, like, everything. It's magical. What happens? They book you per se, and then what happens? Boom.
I go through an intuitive read for each client, given by their consent and permission, of course. I invoke the energy of my guides, my angels, ancestors. Yeah, the lightest frequency.
That word invoke, it's just always like, ooh.
I know, to help them assist me with the reading. And oftentimes, whenever they go through the whole reading process with me, I will go through like major aspects. So in their birth chart, where they need some level of assistance and understanding. And during the birth chart reading, they could open up. Some clients open up, other clients don't, because they just want to hear what you have to say. But the ones that actually have like so much focus and intention, the reading comes on very strong, especially when you invoke their guides to come through to assist you. So I'm very much I'm an intuitive astrologer. So it's a little, I do see things whenever I do look at the birth chart through an intuitive level, and it could be very profound. And at times, sometimes I even bring out oracle cards just to, give them an end note and message for them. I also work with crystals quite often, even crystal prescriptions that I give for my clients.
Oh, wow.
Whenever they have blockages in specific areas of the chart that they feel like they can't have breaking free from. It could be a Chiron placement. We talked about that, Florina, before.
Yeah,
Chiron.
I love the Chiron. Like, that's
we know the Chiron, yes, and you could probably resonate a lot with it.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah.
So what I appreciate what you saying is, damn, I think I'm a really good interviewer, by the way.
You are really good.
I'm fucking good. So like, this is what I'm gonna do, baby. No, but so I've been telling you, like, I'm planning, and when I have this plan, I have this what I want to do next. Obviously, during this time, like you said, we're gonna figure out how to take it to the next level, because we can everyone can have these ideas in their mind of all the things they want to do, but so I always compare it to this. So an artist, a singer, I'm a singer, I'm singing music. has no clue how to do business. So they're just like doing their music. And then people wonder, how come they're not big and that person is? Well, that person might have been really good at doing business and not great. It's like, the artist not being the good. Look, you guys, it's very hard for light workers, empathic people to deal with technology and corporations because that is not where our heart is. Our heart is in more like, okay, we just want to be artistic and flow through this energy and let it go. And then we have to deal, like, for instance, I had to get all of this stuff set up. I had to put the lights here and this. I can do it wonderfully, but do I want to do that? No, I just want to like be the artist. So if you have those kind of problems right now, I feel like at this time, if you just try to focus a little bit, which as I'm doing, I'm writing down a plan. I have like my little board that you could wipe off, a calendar there. I bought a couple of different books. I have my computer and I'm really trying to get organized. So I don't know if that's going to help anybody in this time, but try to get organized with your ideas, right? I'm writing my little manifestation book. Get organized with your ideas right now. If you have a lot of ideas, figure out ways. Like there's so many. Look, today, my 1997 Mercedes-Benz, which is a classic, by the way, I could not figure out where the windshield wiper stuff, the fluid went in. So I'm like standing there, like I'm looking at the engine, like, where the fuck is this thing? And I Googled it, right? And it showed me. So there's lots of information out there for you guys. So you can just easily get that. I wanted to make that clear. So now what Lumi was saying was during her readings and during any psychic, intuitive, whatever readings you have, there are people that come to me for mediumship and they'll look at me like this, like, okay, what are you going to tell me? Like, and they're just like, give me information. I'm looking at them like, yo, you got to open up. I'm not here to like break your walls down. You have to be open energetically. Otherwise, now I'm like playing the jigsaw puzzle in my head. I'm trying to figure you out, right? It's the same thing with astrology. Okay. All right. It's the same thing with astrology. Does anybody have any questions for Lumi at all? If you do this, you can ask them right now. If you have any specific questions. I'm just gonna check the.
And I also do, even Florida, you probably do the same thing. You probably do Reiki all over the room before each reading, right?
All the time.
It's so important to do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I send out like a white light completely.
Yeah.
I would say, when it comes to like, hold on, when it comes to like healing and stuff, very easy for me to heal somebody. Like I'm gonna say my daughter and me had COVID. I literally asked Archangel Raphael to assist me. And the Christ consciousness, I called in and I was like, please help me. The master healers, which they are from a planet, they have triangle heads and they're orange in color. Okay. If you ever watched the documentary with Dr. Stephen Greer, he'll explain it to you. He's taken pictures of them. Okay. And I've called them in and my daughter was like having a fever and I focused all my energy on her and she was fine. 10 minutes later, she woke up the next morning. I feel great, Mom. My mom has been sick. I've healed her. So anybody could do that. I just want to make that clear. Okay, so we have a question here. Let's see what he says. So Derek, hey, Derek. Derek says, I'm a young 29-year-old Tauran, yet I'm not clear yet how to know my full birth chart. Any assistance, if I may ask?
Know your birth time.
Yeah.
You have to know your birth time on your birth certificate. If he's having a hard time finding his birth certificate, you could request a new one on newyork.gov or any US Bureau of Vital Statistics, where you could find a long form of your birth day and birth certificate. You have to request a long form though. If you could just request a birth certificate, they are not going to send you the time of birth. But the long form itself, it's going to give you all the information you need. So if you have your time of birth, then you'll know your birth chart. You have to run it through astro.com or get an astrologer to do it for you. And
so if you can, like, if you can't like right now afford to book an astrologer, there are a lot of tools to figure it out. Mm-hmm. I would say if you can't figure it out, one of the things that I found helpful was like I went on cafeastrology.com and it's free and it lists them like in a list, and then it tells you like rising sun, moon, first house, second house, third house, and you learn a lot about yourself. There's also tools on the internet, like people that do astrology. Lumi's got some tools on her internet. You can go wherever you want. Again, you guys, I got this for like, I don't know where it was from, like $12 or something. And it basically breaks down everything, but I got it more likely to know I wanted to say this really quickly. I wanted to go through all the signs and kind of explain like a little bit like what the signs are, but that's just a lot. It's like almost doing like a reading on everybody, and it's a lot of time. So It's 17:30 p.m., 5:30 p.m. Okay, so Derek, go into that and then type in your name in the natal chart. It'll say natal chart. Type in your name, your time, and figure it out from there. Okay, figure it out from there. So Lumi, I want to ask you a question. Do you feel like when do you feel that if you know someone's birth time and birth chart and everything, do you feel like you can almost kind of like predict your child's kind of future a little bit with astrology?
Yeah, you could. I mean, I can't tell you when the child's going to have hardships and everything by
Right.
the day, but you could find out specific themes that your child could play in your life in the birth chart. And you could even see your parents' influence and how their marriage was in the birth chart. So there's a lot of different facets of information you could gain. So you could see your future children in the energy. Absolutely.
Right. You can learn a lot about them. Like, because I've heard of people like doing birth charts on their unborn children, like, oh my God, I knew she was going to be an Aries, or I knew she was going to be a Scorpio, or whatever the case was. We have another question here. We got at the end of this, you guys, I will be plugging all of her information. Follow her on Instagram. She always, first of all, even if you like sign up for her emails, she friggin' sends this dope ass like email, and it tells you what the energy is, what's going on right now. It's like, it's sick. It like automatically goes to your email. And I always share it on my Instagram because it's so cool. All right. So we have Mermaid Mia 11. Question for Lumi. I'm an Aries, Sun, Moon, Sag rising.
Oh, nice.
Okay. So I'm an Aries Sun,
Mhm.
I'm a Sag Moon, and a rising Leo. It's hard to understand my houses and planets. What's the simplest way to understand it all? Good
Well,
question.
knowing your big three is a best place to start. Just know your triple fire.
Knowing your big three, she means Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus.
Yes, your sun, moon, and rising. Thank you. And when you have triple fire, that just shows that you're meant to be in this life to express, to extend knowledge, because that's Sagittarius energy you have. So she's the Sagittarius moon, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so her moon sign just shows that she has to go about this whole process of extending philosophical pursuits or even sharing knowledge. Like that's her emotional comfort. When you know, like the trademark signatures or those signs that you have, it can kind of lead you to understanding the birth chart alone, like just by knowing those three first.
Right.
And then you branch out into the houses and everything, because it is a lot of information to get yourself involved with, really. But knowing that those three main energies could be a great place to start. The Aries energy, we talked about this before, it's a cardinal. So you're meant to initiate and start things up. You really need to push through your ideas with confidence and conviction and really believe in yourself in doing so.
So I'm going to tell you something. So, cause like, I'm going to explain this to you. And then really quickly, she also says, she also said, also, if you're a triple fire sign, can the other placements dominate at times more so?
So the fire, yes, all the fire signs they are activated within each other. But it all depends on your year too, because I don't know your natal body planets. Like if I knew your planets and see what signs those are in, that could definitely tell me a lot more information. But knowing those threes, the rising, the sun, and the moon, that just shows that you're very dominant to fire. Yes.
So I did something interesting. I looked at my birth chart, and then I looked at the houses, and then I looked where I had the things in the houses. And what I did was like, I took a piece of paper and I looked at my birth chart, and I looked at the sign that was in that house. And then I wrote down what that means. And then I looked at the way the sign is, right? So like I would look at the house, what the house represents. For instance, if it was my first house, your personal appearance and your immediate environment, right? If I had Gemini in that first house, right? I would know that my personal appearance and my immediate environment for a Gemini, how are Geminis? How do they deal with things? And that's how I would deal with things in my first house. Does that make sense? I did it.
So you could say that you could see it this way. Houses are the scene of each facet of your life. It's like how you're living out. For instance, you talked about your first house. That's me. It's what my needs are now. It's Aries dominant first house. So the first house is represented by Aries.
Right.
So in this case, for what was your listener's name again?
Her name is sorry, I just lost it. For
apologies.
Mermaid Mia. Mermaid Mia.
So she's,
all right, we can't remember
Aries, she's an Aries rising. So she's literally like the trademark chart alone when you're learning astrology.
The first house, yeah.
So in her case, it's me. I want things now. I demand my needs to be met. I want to initiate, start things, and show myself what I can do. So that's like how like the environment around you is. Now the planets are the characters. It's like the influence, like the planets alone just give off like a certain element of how the seed plays out.
Yeah.
And the sign is the acting role. So the characters are the planets, the sign is the actor.
So and then we're going to get to one question, but because really quickly, I just want to say your sun is your ego structure, right?
Yes.
Your ego, okay. And then the moon is your emotions. I know that.
The way you nurture too, and nurturing that you want.
Say it again.
It's the way you nurture.
Okay.
And the way you want to receive nurturing in this life. It's your longing, your need.
Right. So I have Aquarius in my moon. So I would look at myself like the way Aquariuses are. They're very like, who is this person? I don't trust them. They're like very like lookers, like they're the observers. They're kind of like, they could be cold emotionally too.
You're the innovator though. You like to just be, you just want to get to work. You want to not necessarily initiate, but you want to collaborate and get things going for people. You want to create change.
And I have a problem. Like when people don't, I do have an issue with that because like, it's like, I will get in a circumstance and I want everyone to like be together and like, not hate on each other kind of thing. And then I get around people and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with everybody? Why are they stepping on each other to get here? Like, that's my thing. But
their moons usually are thought of as cold. I mean, they just want to extend some sort of level of intellect and verbal affections. Like you want to speak it. You don't want to be mushy. I mean, maybe you are.
I'm not at all. No. My daughter.
Yeah, me too. I know.
My daughter is a Cancer, and I gotta tell you, see, everybody gets into your life for a reason. She's very touchy, mommy, hug me, cuddle me. She taught me that because before her, I was like, I every relationship I ever had, they'd be like, come over here, hug me, hold my hand, like, and I'd be like, okay, yeah, like get off of me, you know what I mean? Like, don't touch me in public, like what the fuck? Stop trying to kiss me. People are looking at me, like that's just, it was just always like that. But I'm learning to be more vulnerable, and that's one of my lessons.
That's your Virgo energy. You're tapping into. You got a lot of air in your birth chart. So you got that Libra rising and Aquarius moon. So that airy feeling, it's just about information. You just want to receive and give info. The Virgo is just all about solidifying the information. Earth energy.
The Virgo in me keeps me, I would say, grounded the most, right? And then
beautiful. I love that sign. It's my opposite sign. I appreciate Virgo energy.
I love Pisces women. I'm always like, yo, this lady is phenomenal, bro. I don't know what it is about your energies. My mom's a Pisces. She's a fucking straight up witch and doesn't even know it. And I tell her all the time. All right. So we have a question here. I don't want to ignore the people. So, cause like I could talk to you all night, but we have somebody, DJB says, I have Cap Sun, Aquarius rising and Pisces moon. And it's hard to balance all of that sometimes. Nubian asked almost the same question. So she says, I'm sorry, Nubian first. I'm a Cancer sun. My moon and Venus is Gemini. And moon and Venus is Gemini. Rising Virgo. How do I find balance? She wants to know.
So the Virgo is what exactly again?
She's a Cancer sun. Okay. Mm-hmm. She's a moon and Venus in Gemini, and she's a Virgo rising.
To find balance, the best way to find balance is your Venus. So her Venus is again, what sign again?
Her Venus and her it's in Gemini.
Gemini. Yeah. So the Venus in Gemini energy is actually really good because that isn't a sign of balance. That's a sign of actually gaining knowledge. You need to find information in regards to like different systems of how to attain balance and enlightenment. It's through understanding the actual information that you are gaining at this point in your life. Because sometimes when you gather up so much information over time, you kind of get lost into it. That's a Gemini energy, and that's a Gemini imbalance, where you could just literally look to the opposite sign. Even with your sun sign looking to the opposite sign, that's where you find the balance in things.
And I would say this, Nubian, because I know you, and I'm gonna let you know real quick, as a Gemini, as with the Gemini in your Venus. So when it comes to love, you like, Geminis like to start a lot of projects, but like they can never like finish it. Okay. So I know I had this problem with myself in the past where the Gemini in me, because I have two placements to Gemini, I'm not really sure exactly where, but I have two placements to Gemini in my chart. And when I would start projects, I wouldn't finish them. So my advice to you would be with love, especially since it's in the Venus, right? When it comes to relationships, I would completely probably try to find myself before I go try to find love. And then when you do, don't start other relationships when one is not completely ended. So that's a big thing. Like, because Gemini's like, they get bored very easily. Okay. Geminis are bored. Like they get bored with shit. I know Gemini's, oh, this is, I don't like this. Like for 1 minute, you're so excited about everything. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then you're like, I don't know. Like, that's why I would say finish one thing and write things down and just first complete that one task before you pull on to another.
That's exactly like when you look to the Gemini energy, look into the opposite sign, which is Sagittarius. So the Sagittarius, as you know, Florina, at times they're very good about dreaming big. They're idealistic. And they like, once they have that one idea, that genius idea, they're just going to go with it. So that's the only way for you to actually gain that level of knowledge and balance is through looking at the opposite sign for whatever sign that you are going through an imbalance. So if you're a Libra imbalance, Libra, they're just catering to others. They're catering to whatever the other person needs and stuff. And they feel very exhausted because they're giving so much of themselves. Now look to the opposite sign. That's Aries, the initiator. It's me. What do I want now? How am I going to get my needs met at this moment?
That's it. You see, so she's saying basically look at the opposite sign. So to be like, that's for me, that's like the lesson in that. Like you're dealing with things like, let's say like a Virgo. If I think of it like a Pisces can be very good with when I get like overly like concerned about things. Pisces, my mom will step in and be like, I don't know why you're so worried about it. It's going to be fine. It's going to be okay. Like you're going crazy in your head. You're a conspiracy theorist. She'll give me that. Like sometimes when I'm like deep in like, you don't understand. They're doing this. And she's like, okay, all right. Okay. And the government's going to kill us all. I know because they have nothing better to do. And I'm like, Mom, like, are you seeing this? And like, she grounds me with that too. I have another question for you. And it says here, I'm deeply affected by my moon sign. It's in my first house. Joint with the rising. So it's like, if I'm sad, I look like death, vice versa with happiness.
What sign is it?
So what's your moon sign? So if she's sad, it like she shows it in her face. Like you can see, she looks like she's dying. She's
whenever you have a moon on the ascendant, you are literally living your emotions on your sleeve. Like your mask is off. Like that's why it's so hard to help yourself stay grounded in that case. She probably attracts very interesting figures in her life, like almost like they drop all of their information on her lap.
Oh yeah, see, that's
soaks it up like a sponge. That's usually an indicator with the moon on the ascendant.
It's a big empath, I feel. And I gotta say, you guys, I posted something. When you find yourself giving too much energy, I would step back for a little bit. Like there's times when I can't, like, here's the thing. I don't like to mention money, but I'm going to mention it because I'm going to talk real right now. There's times like when I will go so hard with doing free videos and doing this and doing that. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I'm like, nobody's donating. Nobody's helping me out. I'm just like wasting all of my time and energy doing free shit. And it's not going nowhere. And I'll step back for a little and I'm like, fuck that. If they don't appreciate me, I'll stand back, and I hate to say it that way, but I do say it that way in my head. But then I realize, you know what? It's okay because when I don't get back from this spot, it comes back to me from another place. But if I'm over giving my energy as an empath, as a light worker, we have to know to step back because then what's going to happen? You're going to live with resentments and frustration, and you're going to hate the people around you, and you're not going to want to do anything anymore. You're going to want to go to the fucking woods and never come out of them. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you guys? So when you find yourself giving too much to a relationship, to your family, we love our families, but some of us can go hard for our families and they don't come back with the same energy. They don't reciprocate the energy. And it makes us drained. It makes us feel tired and unappreciated. Because I know as a Virgo, my biggest thing is you don't appreciate me. Say, I appreciate you. That's all I want, And so I want to give that to you guys really quick. So my emotions show on my face. Somebody says, yes, I'm an Aries sun, Libra rising, and my emotions show on my face. Mine too. I don't smile often. When I do, I don't stop laughing. But, that's not a bad thing. Don't see it as a bad thing. Okay, so we got here one more question. Let me see. All right, I'm a Cancer. I'm a Cancer, but a Scorpio rising.
Oh, love that. I
I'm
love
a
that. I have a
Cancer,
Scorpio
but a
rising too.
Scorpio. That's tough
Yeah,
though. Ooh,
intense. Yeah, she's probably gonna really feel, or he. I'm sorry.
yeah.
He's
Yeah.
gonna really feel this new moon coming up.
I'm a Cancer, but a Scorpio rising. I feel like Scorpio traits are more
Yep.
pervasive than the Cancer traits for me. Is there
Because you
anything?
live out your ascendant, you live out your rising sign. That's your, as I mentioned many times before, it's your vehicle. It's
Right.
your body. It's how you're presenting yourself to society. It's also the natural skills that you have. It's just like your natural makeup as a soul. Like that's your protective guard. And the Scorpio rising individuals, oh my gosh, you see lots of intensity throughout your entire life. And usually you see the dark, but you also see the means of how you're going to attain the light in certain situations. So you can go really one way, go the other way. Very easily.
You answered his question like perfectly, and
Yeah.
um
So I'm
like
Scorpio rising myself. I know, and a Pisces sun. So the
ooh,
water. Yeah, and Libra moon that lightens things up for me. But the water, usually water sun and water rising. These individuals are empathic. They are very much, they could be prone to really getting too deep into the problems of other people very
right.
easily because they want to help. They just want to
Yeah.
be of assistance, especially that Cancer energy that he has.
Yeah, and I feel like you could find that that what happens to people like that is that no good deed goes unpunished kind of energy. I remember growing up, and this happened to me a lot. So I don't know if you guys experienced this. I would catch like my friends' husbands cheating on them or like my cousins, and I would go tell the person, like, I saw him in the mall with another girl, and they'd be like, "Don't fucking, you're trying to ruin my relationship." And I'd be like, huh? Like, wait, what just happened? Like, I'm so confused. I thought I was helping. So, like, we got to sometimes step back and just let people sit in their own shit for a little bit. I hate
Yeah.
to say it that way because some people, as much as you guys, everybody here is a healer, right? Here you got Lumi, the astrologer here. She's a beautiful expert at everything she does. She knows exactly what she's doing. She's intuitive. She taps into her higher self, her true calling. And even me, same thing. Even you all, just because we know what we're doing or we know what we're talking about does not mean we are here to save everybody. I want to tell you that very clearly, as light workers sent down from another planet or star seeds, or your soul was transitioned here several times, you descended and you're here back to try to ascend, right? It's like a descension, ascension. It's like you're up and down because you're trying to figure out, like, you're almost trying to like rebirth yourself and see how much you can ascend, right? But in some lifetimes, you can have a connection to a past life. And because that connection of your past life, you were, let's say, like a doctor or a healer or something, and you didn't feel like you completed whatever you supposed to complete in that mission, and you come back here in this lifetime now as a light worker, one of your main missions, I'm going to say, like, everybody wants to know, what's your purpose in life? It's to work on yourself. Honestly, that's what I feel. Okay. Now that sounds selfish, but when we work on ourselves, we constantly help the world evolve. Okay. Because once I stopped eating meat. I started doing things differently. My family at first was like, what the fuck? But now they're like, she really doesn't eat meat. Like, they're proud to tell people that, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like Albanians are like, what do you mean you don't eat meat? You know what I'm saying? It's like that scene from my big fat Greek wedding.
Yes.
What do you mean you don't eat no meat? You know what I'm saying? Like, my stepfather, he's like, here, have some chicken. I'm like, that's me. Like, it's chicken, it's not me. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is, don't let things like make you feel like you're like obligated. You're not obligated to do anything. You can do whatever you want to do. And if you have to step back from other people around you, whether they be family or not, you have to. You have to understand it is not your obligation, not your duty or responsibility to go fix everybody, okay? Because a lot of people here can feel like they need to do that. When did you recognize, Lumi, that you weren't here to save the world? Because I'm sure for a while you were trying to save it. Like, you were like superwoman, helping this one, helping that one. And then you said, wait, fuck this.
Honestly, it was when I used to work in the salon.
Yeah,
was
because that's
trying to
like a
save my
therapy session.
coworkers. I was sharing everybody too much information and free now. I mean, again, I like to extend knowledge to a certain level to the best of my abilities at that moment. But if they keep feeding off you and feeding off you, and I just noticed I was getting zapped every time.
Yeah.
Because in Florida, between clients, when I was just like studying astrology. I was doing some mini readings and all those things on the computer and a laptop on me at the time. And people were just sitting on the couch. They're like, hey, they just want to drop all their stuff on me.
Stuff on you.
Like, oh, here we go again. And then I would always like give off my energy, just trying to help them. And then after a while, I would feel like the color off my face drained at the end of the day. It was not good at all.
So I don't know if you struggled
with
this. Did you struggle with this in the beginning? Because this is
important. Yeah. Oh my God.
For those people who are trying to like start the spiritual work or whatever you want to do, this is one of the big struggles you have in the beginning. I'll let you know what she just said. First of all, everybody starts dumping their shit on you. Number two, you will have it, you get like a guilt trip about getting money for the work you do. Okay. And this happens to every single person who steps into their true purpose. It's almost like, well, if this is my purpose, asking for money isn't right. But actually it is, because if you think about it, when doctors go to school to learn to get their degree, we go through the school of hard knocks. Okay. So we're like going through the school, the street school, you know what I'm saying? Like we go through the pain, the struggles, like Chiron, the wounded healer. We go through the wounds and the pain and the struggles. And when I'm extending my knowledge to people, it's almost like, hi, I've been through this, like literally been through it. And this is how my headed ass got through it. This is how you will. So don't feel bad to accept money for the work you do. Always, don't just allow everybody to come in and be like, oh, woe is me and help me. And I'm so sad and I don't know how to fix myself. Look, this is why you start to understand that you have to charge people and stuff like that, because people that don't really want to heal, they'll keep coming to you over and over with the same problem and never, ever work on it. The people that will pay for your services and as opposed to that, those people, they will be like, I just paid $200 for this session. I'm going to listen. You know what I'm saying? And this makes a lot of sense. I know it's a financial thing that I have to speak about because I know a lot of people struggle with that, but you need to understand, even when you're starting a business, a small business, whatever you do, get your fucking price on. Do not be afraid to charge. Okay. Don't, because as healers and empaths and light workers, is important. A lot of you guys will feel bad, or I should look out for them. Yeah, you can look out for people here and there, but you need to look out for yourself first.
Energy exchange too.
Yeah,
it's exactly. Like when you're giving one way, where's the receiving end on your end? Even an energy like trade-off is good, but it's too much.
Don't
like
exchanging
there. Like giving off services just for the sake of feeling like you're not worthy enough, like in the beginning especially, you have to get some sort of level of return here, because when you overextend, nothing left in your energy, and you're not productive in your life and in how you're living either.
Right. Can you explain something to me really quick? I did have this question for you. What does it mean when they say like the sun is sextile to like Jupiter, or it's trine in
those are aspects you're talking about. Okay. So aspects are they're basically like ease, like so trine is ease, and it usually means the two planets in aspect of a trine, they're both in the same element and they have a common language. They're able to reach some sort of level of comfort and understanding in how those planets are working. Sextile is support. So that means one energy, which is like Earth, for instance, is working with the other energy that works very well with this, which is water. So those two can actually very much solidify and get things going even better. And the squares, squares are tensions, squares are challenge, and
it's like hard, right? Hard corners.
Right. Yeah. So like a square energy is actually essential in order to get things moving. Because if we're constantly in sextiles and trines, our lives are not going to actually have a lot of meaning. We actually get in the same funk, and the same kind of routine patterning, and we don't learn much. And that's a square. So square is like the harsh aspects, but it reaps lots of rewards when you learn it. Now, opposition, which is the fourth one, and that's a major one people talk about, it's usually the opposite sign and how those planets are actually working. So I was talking to you about before, how to achieve the level of balance from one side to the other, you look to the opposite sign. So that's an opposition. That's where you get complementary lessons from the other. Does that make sense for you?
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Yeah, and there's a lot of different like quincunx and semi-sextiles and inconjunct and conjunct. Conjunct is actually a very good one to know. That's usually of like new moon. So for instance, like this new moon coming up on the 4th.
Yeah.
That's when the sun and the moon are completely aligned. That's when the moon's right in front of the sun.
Okay, conjunct.
Yeah, in the middle of Earth. It's like in between Earth and the sun. So Earth's on one end, moon's on the middle, and the sun's on the other end. That's a new moon.
So
and
they
that's
say
also known as conjunction. Yeah.
So they say when it's sextile that like the planets are having sex, like I'm here. I heard.
Well, you know, I wouldn't look at it that way, but people think that way.
You're getting it on. So I'm going to say this really quick. So I view the planets as ascended beings who probably were once humans, or turned into goddesses and then chose to ascend to become a planet or something like this. That's why when you hear like the Son of God, like Jesus, right? The Son, right? The Son of God. So he didn't just ascend and become like a little angel in the sky. He's like became the Son of God. Do you see what I'm saying?
Ascension. It's an ascension level of understanding. I saw an orb on my screen. So cool.
I saw it too before.
It's going around me today. It's really, I saw it like since we began this. I love it. But anyway,
I love it.
The sun energy, we all have it. I'm not saying we're all Christ beings, definitely not, but we're meant to attain a level of
100%. That's why he came here to teach us that.
As souls. Yeah, and that's why we're given a specific sun sign in this life. So that's where I really talk about my readings usually. Like, so for instance, if you are a Virgo sun, I'll talk to you about flow. In order for her to achieve her level of mastery in life, it's actually to be of service to others. It's to spread purity, cleansing, knowledge, and giving back to humanity through extending her services. It's humility. It's humility. It's being very humble in her existence in this life. And all those things.
And that's a fact. Like what I can't, guys, she just said that and it's freaking me out because I already knew that, but like, the way she described it, like I really do. I got to say, let me just say this to you. When I experienced quote unquote, air quotes, fame, that was my teacher, because before that I was very Libra rising. I everything I bought was expensive, name brand. I still do that, but here's the thing: I'm more humble about it now. When I do buy something expensive, it's because I know I'm going to wear it with everything and it's going to go to use. Like before, I would buy $90 shirts and thought I was like this cool, like, oh my God, I'm so cool. Necklaces, chains, jewelry. I was very Libra, very like, the vanities self.
Your Venus is in Leo too.
Yeah.
So because that's your main planet you work with, it's in Leo. So, but the Leo and Venus, it's going to force you to go back to the sun, because Leo is ruled by your sun sign. So you have to go to humility in order to achieve level of knowledge and ascension. So
that's what I'm saying to you. What you're experiencing and your signs and all that, they do have a lot to do with a lot of things. I do feel like you're gonna, like in life, you're gonna play the role that you want to play in this lifetime. Just gonna put that out there for everybody. Nothing can tell you who you are and what you're going to become. Only you can do that, right? Which is why, as a reader, as a reader, and me as a reader, I will always tell people, I am not here to tell you your future. I'm here to tell you what your higher self already knows, but I'm just like vibrating, right? Bringing out the information to you. I can see what your higher self is seeing. So your higher self, it's almost like I'll show you like a vision of like your higher self up in the sky, looking at me going, tell her that she's this and that, and she needs to recognize who she is. She's not just,
we're the bridge.
Woman,
And then just have to cross it. They have to cross with the information we are extending to each soul. That's what it is. They're like, oh, you're amazing at what you do. I'm like, it's astrology. It's the knowledge that we're given, but I am integrating my intuition and everything. And you can attain that level of knowledge yourself. That's the point of astrology and mediums and psychics, astrology.
It's like I'm going to explain it to you like this. We step in as like what you see as this like powerful, like aura driven light being who's like giving you the information, but actually we are your higher selves like projected back onto you. So it's almost like I'm playing your higher self in real life in this form, because remembering that we are all connected to a team of souls. And the way I would look at it is like a spider web, right? The cosmic web. There's like a circle, it's a circle, right? And then like in that circle, there's lines of souls, and it's like you almost come down with these souls. So the people you meet, you go, why do I feel like I know them forever? Well, it's because you actually planned this before you came on this earth. You're like, all right, we're going to go down. You're going to teach me this. We're going to do that. And it's like, you all had this like team of souls, like connection, which is why it is so easy for it's not easy. Obviously you got to practice what she's doing, practice being a medium, practice being a psychic, whatever you want to do. But you got to understand you have it within you. That's the point of people like her and like me and like you, okay? Because you are us in like this like awaiting to come out and like jump rope, you know. That's the point, is we're here to show humanity like, hello, like you're powerful, you're not just like some little baby human, you know what I mean? Like wake up already, you know. And so like everything that we talked about tonight, I want you guys to understand something. At the end of the day, like you're all angels in training, and I want you to remember that, you know. And whatever you see an angel as, I see them as a vibration. I no longer look at an angel as somebody with wings who's just coming down to like, they're not. Like if they, you know, they're an energy source, right? Archangel Raphael, Metatron, all these angels are vibrations and frequencies that you can tap into and tune into. So if you find yourself having negative emotions and feeling down, I would really like just try to ask for that assistance and that energy to come in and heal. What, like today, I was having a bad day, for instance. In the morning, I was so irritated. I wanted to like, everything everybody did, like smells bothered me, the looks, I was like, like everything was irritating me. But you know, when we going through transformation and death and rebirth and all that, and we are stepping into our new selves, you're going to go through this. But what I did was, as I was driving, I started to say to myself, like, okay, it's okay. You just probably a little tired, a little cranky, you probably didn't sleep well, you know, let it go. Let's clear this energy. Let's clear it. And as empaths, psychics, intuits, we do go through a lot of emotions every day. So the point is here, don't let them bother you. Don't let them take over your whole day. If you need to take a nap to get this fucking energy off, do it. You know what I mean? I always say that. Take care of yourself. Okay. Take care of yourself. I had to go to the store and go shopping a little bit and buy some healthy foods to make myself feel better. Like that's what made me feel better. And I changed the energy around. You know, change the vibration, like change your day, and use astrology as a guide. You know, like when you need to know, like, how's my day going, and you're like, well, what's the energy for today? Maybe that'll help guide you through the day, but don't let it like determine what your day is going to
rule you. Definitely not. I don't believe in that at all. In fact, like general horoscopes, I mean, they're good, but I often just do it by the new moon or full moon. That's my main ones.
Me too. Because that's a cycle. I know already.
Yes, that's your 2-week theme. And you already know, you got the information, what you got, and work with that. Because if you look at like daily horoscopes, not to knock anybody who does those things, if they like it, it's great. Yeah. But if you're just saying, oh, Mars in square to your moon, you're going to get into an argument today. And then you look at that and you're like, wow, that person really is bothering me. Then negativity goes on top of negativity, and then on top of negativity. So that's doom and gloom astrology. Exactly. That's not healthy. That I don't believe in that. Honestly, you work with the energy. If you see Mars in square to moon, for instance, I'm telling you an example, harness that more into a physical activity. That's what I usually give recommendations for. I'm like, okay, this is a really tough day. Could be if you look at it that way, but you could harness that angst you're probably feeling towards doing something practical. Get your energy out and blow off the steam, and then you'll be able to balance that out for yourself. So look at it.
So you guys, like, I want to say, like, when we're saying that, the reason I'm saying that is because just like with spell work, right? When people are like, oh, someone put a spell on me. I'm like, do you believe that someone put a spell on you? And they go, yeah. I'm like, okay, then they put a spell on you. Mm-hmm. Yes, they did. Mm-hmm. But if you say, this person told me they put a spell on me, get the fuck out of here. I don't believe that shit. You know what I'm saying? First of all, it's really what you believe.
Let in. Yes.
No, your mind is
and your auric field. So if you fear,
call that in, and now the vibration of, I have a spell on me. Today is terrible. Oh my God, I'm gonna get in a car accident. Oh my God. If you start to think those things, you attract those things. Because you're creating your reality every single day. And I learn that more and more every single day as I go along. So when I tell myself today's going to be a great day, nothing anybody does can get on my nerves, that I'm not going to let it affect me and how I go about the day. When I do that with my minds, I clear the energy and I ground. That's one of the things, my biggest tool, you guys, and this, you could use this. let's clear it and ground. When I'm doing readings, sometimes a lot of spirit will come through and I'm like listening to a bunch of messages and I'll have to be like, let's clear the energy and ground, please. And my spirit guides will take control of that. They'll push everybody to the side. Guys, you're doing too much, back off. What do you want to know? What do you want to say? And they'll kind of like grab the information and give it to me. That's how you can work with your spirit guides. Hey, spirit guides, I'm connecting to too many spirit at once and it's making me uncomfortable. I can't think clearly. Can you please, form a line or some shit? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, I have one more question because I don't want to keep you on here forever. It's been an hour and I don't want to keep you forever, but I could keep you forever. I could never let you go, but okay. So, and that's one thing about me. I have this like fucking obsessive, like controlling shit. Like if I fall too madly in love with someone, I can be very fucking controlling and obsessive. And that's one of the reasons why I stood single and celibate for 2 years, because I wanted to heal that part of me that just needs to like have somebody and like own them kind of thing. I don't know where that connects to with my past life, but I definitely either murdered somebody I loved or something. Because
it's probably your North Node position. We talked about
I'm
that.
a Cancer, my North Node. Yeah,
your
my daughter's fucking
psychotic. Your North Node's in the midheaven. So
yeah.
Before you get to your question, don't worry about it. I love talking about this, and for you, just for you to get this knowledge for you, okay? Wherever your midheaven point is, and especially you having a North Node, it usually is an indicator that in a past life, because your South Node's in the 4th, you were very much designated towards the needs of your family. You're designated towards the needs of the inner world, and you almost like pushed aside your needs for them to feel ascended. You wanted to bring them up, and you almost like needed to protect them in your own cocoon, like too much, like you overextended for their well-being.
Oh yeah.
Now with your North Node position at this point in this lifetime, you're meant to extend your care and nurturing for humanity. It's meant to be outward. So in a way, to gain that imbalance, to understand that imbalance that you may have in terms of the love and relationships, it's best to focus on service, because that's your North Node position. And that's in connection to your moon sign too in Aquarius. So you need somebody who's very unconventional. You need somebody who is independent and autonomous within him or herself,
Yes.
If you have somebody who's needy, that's not going to be good for you either, because it rubs off on you.
Girl, that's all I've ever dated is needy people, which is
you need more of an Aquarius energy. Yeah. You need somebody who's very independent, initiative. Like you got to look to your 7th house too, which is the Aries. Yes. That's where you find your perfected or your ideal partner, like the energy of it alone. I'm not telling you to look for Aries.
No,
look for Aries like it's like pioneer energy. Like somebody who's like.
But no, yeah, I dated Aries. That was like one of my longest lasting relationships, and it would have been great if we weren't both so fucking toxic at the time. It would have been great. We were both crazy together. So really quick, let me see something really quick here, because
good question.
All right, this is a good question. That's why. What is the best way to find balance during a retrograde? Aries Sun, Libra Moon. I mean, the retrogrades period are for me.
Well, it depends on what sign it's in.
Yeah.
If you know the ahead of time where it's going to be impacting your birth chart, you'll know how to work with that energy. So we just passed our Libra Mercury retrograde. So wherever the Mercury was in wherever it was residing in your birth chart, like what are the themes that you need to like look out for? So if you had what's the rising sign of this person?
She's a Aries Sun, Libra Moon, but does not give me the rising here.
Okay, that's okay. So her Libra Moon was actually impacted. So depending on wherever the Mercury was, that's usually, or in general, knowing that for future Mercury retrograde points, if you know ahead of time, you're going to be best prepared for it. And I'd say don't fall into it too much. Don't stress about Mercury retrogrades. Again, we were talking about energy for you, energy before. If you think, oh my God, Mercury retrograde's happening, shit's going down, everything's going to be horrible, that's what's going to happen.
Right. And I never think like that, especially during Mercury retrograde. One thing though, I do know for a fact, every single time Mercury
technology for you, right?
Yeah. The technology, first of all, nothing works. And then also, I do tend to stutter or like talk, like trip. I'm saying words backwards and shit. But one of the biggest things is I notice people from the past always, I mean, always come back to me. And I'm not just talking about the past. These motherfuckers are like kindergarten and shit. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, no, I'm like, I don't, what? We went to kindergarten together, and like, literally, it'll be so crazy.
If you know it even by degree, like I'm talking about advanced astrology here, but if you know by, because sometimes you don't feel Mercury retrograde probably until the middle, or you
Oh, yeah.
probably feel in the beginning or the middle or the end. So if you're like a late degree Libra moon, like a 28-degree Libra moon, that usually means when Mercury just started going to retrograde, it was in Scorpio, now went to Libra, 28 degrees, it's impacting your moon, especially that day, like in those couple of days. So again, you just need to know where it's happening in your chart. And again, this is advanced astrology that I'm talking about, but I'd say just like try not to fall into it. Like
don't let it again, like I tell people,
it's free will. Free will in
be
this life.
careful who you go to as readers and stuff. Be careful, because I'm just gonna say this. I don't give a shit what anybody has to say. I'm completely right. And my spirit guides always tell me to talk about this. They tell me to talk about spells all the time. They're like, let people know about this spell shit. They gotta stop doing this stuff. It's not working out for them. I had somebody tell me the other day during a reading. Okay, so I can't seem to like focus my energy on like creating positive energy in my life. But then she told me she did a spell to break up two friends. And I said, hold on. So you're telling me you put all of that energy into breaking up a friendship, but you can't put all that energy into focusing what's positive for your life? And she goes, I know, Flo, you're going to kill me. I'm like, yo, stop with the spell shit. I'm telling all you guys right now, spells are not meant to put on other people. You're going to pay that karma back. Somebody somewhere needs to be paid that karma back. Remember that. You can do all the spells you want, which is I'm putting a spell on this one. Have fun with it. You can't scare me, because I don't believe spells work on me at all, because I don't believe I have generational curses on me. What I do believe is that whatever the family does, it does kind of like drift off into you a bit, and you have
like DNA encoded in you.
Right. It's family, like a science type of thing, right? Scientific. As much as I love magic and all that, you also got to look at things logically first before you tap it. You cannot be like, I'm sick. I'm really sick. Let me first put some chamomile in a jar and burn it and see if I get better. First, you have to check, make sure. Like I went to doctors constantly to check if there's something wrong with my brain, because I was going through ADHD, depression. When I realized none of that's working, then I went to the spiritual, and I was like, okay, I see, it's because this, that, right? Yeah. Understanding that. Okay. Spells and stuff like that, like just like with astrology and readers, I tell people all the time, and this is not to like toot my own horn or toot her horn. I've seen people and I'm like, dude, like I would never go to this person. They're going to like tell you this is how it's going to be. This is what's going to happen. And you're going to believe that. And you're going to live your life based on what she just told you. And that is not fair to anybody. I give you the room. You have to give people the room. Okay. No matter what, you can't. Listen, just like Jesus said, like he even said it, don't look at me like I'm God. Don't bow down to me. I'm just here to give you information. You have to use the information I give you and do something with it. I'm not here to fucking fix you. I can't fix you. Okay. And neither can any astrologer or any healer. A healer can't heal you unless you believe the healer can heal you. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Understand that. It's like a real person will tell you, you can do this shit yourself. I'm just going to give you the tools. Here you go. Take care of it. You know, the saying, God helps those who help themselves. It's a very important message for everybody to listen to. Nobody else can fix you but you. So somebody says, you have to have your time of birth to get an accurate birth chart. Yes, you do, right? You have to have your exact.
Always. Yeah, it's hard. But sometimes even if you don't know, like if you never get the long form, or if you can't get it, you can have an astrologer rectify your chart. It takes time. It's a lengthy process, because you have to tie in to major events in your life and try to kind of integrate that with your rising sign. And it takes a while, but you could do it. But I totally recommend do the best for your ability to try to look at your time of birth. So
do you have any personal rituals that you do during a full moon? Like people want to know, like I
do release work. I do basically depending on the elements of the full moon. So for instance, if we had an air full moon, release work could be through your speaking. Like I release this. I no longer wish to have this in my life. That's air. Fire. It could be a burn ceremony.
Yeah.
It could be like a burn list.
Yes,
or
yes,
inverse.
that's one of the great ones.
I love doing stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, I do it outdoors, but as best I
yeah,
can.
go outside. Obviously, don't do this.
Yeah.
Unless you
Don't
have
do it
like a
indoors,
big
please.
bowl. If you have like a big bowl and you have windows and shit like that, you know, you remember you want to release it out into the universe. So
Yes,
you don't want to
exactly.
be in an enclosed place whenever you're clearing energy because it's like you're just trapping it right back to where it was. You know, energetically, mentally speaking, the vision of it. When I look at this crystal, I can say, crystal, heal me. The crystal cannot heal me. I have to like believe that this crystal has healing powers and then transmute the energy back onto me. You see what I'm
Yep.
saying? So when you want to do stuff like rituals, me, I like to do things like I'll take a shower. For instance, I'm not really a bath person. I get hot and annoyed and I just want to get out. Like I'm like, I don't even listen, I don't even sit through a full movie. I'll go pay $18 to watch a movie with people. It's the ending of the movie. I'm like, all right, come on. Okay, that's it. I got the point. Let's get out of here. You know what I mean? I don't sit. It's not that I don't have patience. It's stuff like that sitting around for a long time. I'm like, all right, dude, like, let's go. But my point is, you know, doing a bath is nice. You could put like
Yes.
roses in it. I like to put like hibiscus leaves in
I love
the
that too.
yeah,
Yeah.
especially because
Even essential oils I love too.
yeah, you now mind you, now hibiscus leaves are good for the blood, right? So like when you have your period, for instance, this is a great tool for women if you have menstrual and it's like, you know, a lot of clotting happening. Hibiscus tea will break that clotting up and
Yes.
help the blood flow more, right? And you talk about that, and that's very important, that flow of energy, because it is energy. Everything is energy, right? So you could put that in the bathtub and envision the blood through your body circulating perfectly, the veins. You can envision the veins. If you don't know what a specific part of your body looks like during a full moon, I'll just get in the shower and I will legitimately envision that shower head as if it's like all crystals, like every kind of crystal, and the water that's coming down, it's shooting out these crystal rays through my body and it's cleansing my soul. You
Love
know,
that.
I do that because, you know, like I said, I'm like one, you know, I'm crazy in the shower, but like let's not get into that. But what I'm gonna say is like you guys have to it's all a mind thing, right? It's right here. It's everything lies here and then here. When you're manifesting, for instance, like if you watch Abraham Hicks at
Yes.
first when she's talking, you're like, what the hell is she talking about? If you're not, you know, obviously a lot of these people they speak very smart. Let's just really keep it real. A lot of people be like, what are they saying? So what she basically says and everything is in order for you to manifest, you have to feel the emotions behind it. Nothing, just like you want to manifest clarity, cleansing your aura, new moon rituals, full moon rituals, you have to feel it. You can't just be like, all right, I cleanse my aura right now, and yeah, cool, whatever. You know what I'm saying, right?
Right. Yeah. No, even like you have you ever watched the movie on Gaia Channel Samadhi?
Yes, yes. That's one of my favorites, Samadhi, and
When you
also
get into that,
the Tao,
yes,
THAO. That's another one. Samadhi is a great
fabulous. It's
watch that.
hard to understand at first, like if you're a newbie to
Yeah.
like understand these things, but you'll get it like once you keep watching. But Samadhi is actually a very good way of learning how to properly manifest or
Yeah.
intentions because you're clearing out the chaotic mind. You're clearing out the disturbances, your toxicities, and all those things. Like when you attain that level of knowingness, that's when your whole field is cleared out, and then you could wish whatever it is you would like to happen to your life.
How do you
Whenever you achieve
feel?
that level of emptiness, it's not emptiness like your soul's emptied out, no,
Yeah.
but it's just like the monkey brain. It's just like
Right.
the monkey brain. Once you release that, then you can invoke more positivity in your life.
How
That's
do
what
you feel about so I have this thing like where a lot of people are using manifesting for like cars and houses, but like nobody's manifesting like you know, like health into their family or well-being for others or whatever. They're just constantly using manifestations for their own
personal
materialistic,
gain.
right? Which is okay, right? If you're doing it with a pure heart and stuff like that. But I'm just gonna say this, and I'm not saying nothing is evil and good in my eyes anymore, but I'm gonna say this for me when it comes to manifesting. I love to say whatever I'm manifesting, I pray that it is not only good for my soul, but it brings goodness to others in whatever I do. You know what I mean? So it's like for the
Yes.
collective and for me, it's like togetherness, a wholeness. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like people should be like, no, look, I want to manifest this for me and that's it? Like, what do you feel about that?
It's just the material. You know what it is? It's just like I mean, for me personally, I always talk about this with my husband, but ever since I brought home a money tree at home, I don't know if you heard about the money trees before, have you?
I think I've
You'll
seen them.
love it. It's beautiful. It's like a braided kind of tree.
Okay.
I look at that as something where it could be like, I have infinite prosperity. I have lots of abundance in my life. And as I see new shoots coming up, I get more opportunities in my lap. But I don't emphasize so much of that per se, materialism. I'm not into that anymore, actually. I just want more joy in my life. I want more peace and I want more quiet. I just want more.
Which is usually what happens when people start to tap into
Knowledge.
spirit more.
Yeah, and the material is just temporary. If you actually have more meaningful life experiences, you're one step closer to getting more of what you want. Because again, it's just, I mean, I like to emphasize a lot of this with my clients because emotions could override too much of your life decisions. But when you find the peace in your life, in your existence, you're going to be able to navigate through hardships much more easily in this way.
There you go.
Going back to your question with manifestation, materialism, the more you wish for riches, it breeds toxicity, it breeds chaos.
Right.
It breeds
Right. Because then you attract those kinds of people that just want riches and stuff. Remember that. Whatever you call in, you're calling in that kind of vibration around you.
Yes, it's low.
One thing I learned to do these past 3 months, 4 months, which I really I'm proud of myself for learning this. I was manifesting things and wanting things, I guess, because like I want a new car because I want it, you know, I want this, I want that. But like instead, I started manifesting like, you know, bring me somebody that will help me fix my credit. So this way I can always be set for the future and I can help my daughter in any way she needs help, right? In the future. Then when I started manifesting my new car or my new house, I didn't do it for the material. I did it for the comfort and peace that I want with it.
Yeah.
So I said, the reason why I want this new home is no longer because I just want to get away from everybody and I want to escape this shit. Like no more. It's more like I want to be able to have a home. I want to be able to invite friends over. I want to have a glass of wine with them, play some games and maybe dance in the basement or, you know what I'm saying? Create art in one room, have my podcast. And instead of thinking like, I need this new house because I'm tired of this one. And another thing, Abraham Hicks says, when you are manifesting whatever you want, right? After you think about what you want, you see what you want and you envision it, don't come back and go, yeah, but I'm still here and I have this and I have this stupid car and this fucking house and my mother and you got to understand, just stay in that energy of vibration as if it's there already. That's an important tool, important.
Absolutely.
Flo, what's the proper spelling for Dhamata and Tao? Oh, Thao, that's Taoism, okay, that you and Lumi previously spoke about. And Samadhi is Samati, okay? So it's Samadhi and Tao.
And HI, sometimes it's spelled in the last two letters, so Samadhi.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. HI. All right. So Samadhi, and you could look that up. And I promise you, watching things like that helped me a lot. Like people like Alan Watts, Dr. Stephen Greer. Okay, there's Swedenborg. Swedenborg is a big one. He has a book called Heaven and Hell. It's really good. He went from being a scientist to experiencing a lot of spiritual awakenings. And he said that angels took him through hell and heaven to show him how it is and what is a hell state of mind, what's a heaven state of mind. We got Dolores Cannon, of course, one of the big ones. Who else would you say? Because I know a lot of them and I've read a lot of books.
I used to read Sylvia Browne.
Oh wow. Yeah, you got mediums.
I love Sylvia Browne. I don't know why. I
listen to her audiobook, okay? Audiobook. Because I don't like reading, okay? I got a lot of books here. One of the things that I love to incorporate into my learning, this is one of the books that I have, it's called Animal Speak.
Yeah, I haven't read that one. Yeah.
It's good because it gives you like I always recognize that animals like guided me, right? But like when I started reading this and started really tuning in, like just like I was telling everybody the other day, I was asking, you know, you could do like a little practice that you could do. I want to know if I'm on the right path. If I'm on the right path, can you have some birds fly on my right hand side? If what this decision that I'm about to make is not good for me, can you have some birds fly on my left hand side? Mm-hmm. And they will do it. The other day, the geese were flying to my left, and then I was like, in my head, am I on the right path? And they started flying to my right, and it's like 20 of them just gliding through the air. Okay, this is another good one.
Love that one. Yeah, yeah.
Wisdom of the Mystic Masters. This is obviously a book from the Rosicrucians, but understand something. If you see something like the Illuminati or Freemasons or the Rosicrucians as evil, remember they're using enlightenment tools to do quote unquote evil, but you can use them to do good for the world. Yeah. So whatever is evil, it can be transmuted to good. Mm-hmm. Like you need to fully understand that when you talk about people and they're evil and they're doing this evil, remember that they're using tools of enlightenment for their own benefit, and you can use these tools of enlightenment for the good of the world. It's the tools doesn't matter. These cards are not evil. The people that can use them can be evil, and they can do evil
things with them. They're just tools that it all depends on how you're using it. I even love Edgar Casey. Yeah, we talked about Edgar Casey. I love him. Yes. And Betty Eady, she's another great one. It's a book called Embraced by the Light. That was actually the first book I've ever read when I started this spiritual journey in my teens. Like it's such a short and sweet read, but you get a lot of information out of that book. She died.
You know about spirit. Watch mediums a lot. Like I watch what's her name? The Happy Medium. I forgot her name now. She's not coming up to my head, but she was on that show, Celebrity Ghost Stories, and then she ended up doing like Kim is her name. Kim, psychic. She's a psychic medium. You know, they'll teach you more about the afterlife. Okay. All right. So I began my spiritual journey with Sylvia Brown. God rest her soul. Honestly, I was listening to her audiobook and it was so interesting. See, with mediums, just like with astrologers, you get to see so many people's birth charts. And so you just like learn, you kind of like know humanity, and it's creepy to do that because like almost like when you meet someone, you're like, yeah, I know exactly how you are, asshole. You know what I'm saying? Like, but like with mediums, like for instance, with me, when I deal with spirit, I've noticed one thing that they always have me come back to, no matter how they died, what they went. And now I don't know if like spirit guides are like kind of like telling me like, you know, keep it positive, like help them heal. And if they are in a bad place, they just don't want us to know or whatever, you know what I mean? Because I feel like no matter what, they're not here to tell you I'm in hell, help me. That's not going to happen. And if they do something like that, I would say like, you know, you guys, again, you're not here to save the world. Okay. Again, I just want to make that clear because the way things I experience, I don't know if anybody else experiences, spirit will take me around in the astral and like, help me. And I'm like, the fuck, you know what? In the beginning, I was actually going to like, quote unquote, hell a lot and pulling people. I just saw an orb on your screen.
I saw that too. Hello.
and pulling, spirit from the dark trying to get them into the light, and they kept taking me back and forth, and I realized a lot of them were just staying there, and like
they're wayward, right? They're a wayward spirit.
Yeah, exactly. They don't want to heal, they don't want to, but they want me to go play with them in their world. And then I go there and I'm like, dude, like I will hear myself literally be like, yo, do you know this is not a good place where you are. This is bad. Like you need to get out of it. And when they don't want to, as a light worker, as a transmuter of energy, everybody needs to understand when you're experiencing these things, you gotta freaking, you know, set boundaries. Okay. Boundaries, right? This is like a big thing for us as healers, light workers, astrologers. Boundaries are very important because people will fucking suck the life out of you. You got to be very aware of the energy vampires in the world, okay? Aware of it because it happens, especially with the Scorpio energy. Scorpios can be very revengeful people, very like, I'm never going to let it go. I hate you. You know, yeah, they can. And
they're very resentful of things. Absolutely. Right. You probably felt that way even when you were younger too, right? Because you have a Pluto energy. Get it on.
Say that again.
House. You were probably very resentful when you were younger. You know, even though you're a Libra rising, you have Scorpio themes in the rising because your Pluto's there. I have Pluto on my ascendant. It's the same thing. So the more you hold on to resentment, the more venom stays within your body.
That's a fact.
I'm going to repeat it again because it creates more poison and toxicity in your interactions with other people. And they're okay, the ones you're not forgiving. They're fine. You're just feeding more. You're just putting yourself you're closing yourself in a cage, basically, when you're doing that.
I said this the other,
you're stinging yourself
in a couple of videos. I said,
yeah.
I said, yeah. hold on. I said the other day, I've made videos like this, and I've said, if you ask a child molester that they molested a child and they're like, you did this, they'll be like, I never did that. Like I think you were just delusional. Or if you ask an abuser or a child abuser, you tell them you hit me when I was younger, and they'll be like, oh, you're exaggerating. And their whatever power you're giving to this energy, which is why I forgave everyone, including myself, my family, and everybody. And I've seen past life dreams of my mom and everything that could make another person be like, I fucking hate you, bitch. Like the shit I've seen in my past lives, it was tough, guys.
Yeah.
I had to let it go and forgive, because that's the karma that you place on yourself. And I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna go, your soul's gonna go up there. You're gonna be like, oh shit, again, I held on to this. I gotta forgive this. And you're gonna come back and try to heal it. I'm telling you, let it go, because you're just giving them all the power. They're not even thinking about you. The people who hurt you, they're not thinking about you. Oh, I hurt them. No, they don't care. Because when you ask a serial killer, when you were killing this person, did you think it was bad? They're like, no, it's the best feeling I've ever had in my life. Like, what are you even talking about? Do you know the thrill that I had? Like, you won't understand it, but it's, that's why you can't judge people, because when they're doing what they're doing, they don't think something they're doing
in a really different mental state than you. Right. And when you realize your actual hurt, you're going to be able to, like, you are hurting, of course, it's understandable, but when you're soaking yourself up so much into the sorrow of your hurt, you're going to remain in that forever, because you're not forgiving yourself, and you're not forgiving the person who wronged you.
You're carrying
in this life, because as Jesus said, turn thy cheek, right? When somebody hurts you, not to say take it again. No, turn thy cheek, to turn away and just keep going and have the space in your heart to let go. And I'm not saying forgive and sing kumbaya with that person. No. But forgive yourself for the situation that unfolded in that experience. That's all it is.
It'll give you a lot more like patience too with things when you forgive things, because guess what? I always say he or she who forgives, I tell you, you could get through anything in life. Like everything, if somebody cuts you off in the street, you're not gonna be like, motherfucker. Like you're just gonna be like, all right, have fun with that. Enjoy it. Right, exactly. All right, guys. So we're gonna wind it down, because it is 8:30 and we have this beautiful astrologer here, and I want you guys to follow her. Well, you do whatever you want, but I don't force shit on nobody. So I'm just telling you, follow her if you want to get some insight. And if you ever can get a reading, I would highly, highly recommend her personally. And that's just my thing to say. Like, you guys can please share this video with people. Oh, I'm getting heat in the crown chakra there. Ascension happening. I'm so lit and on fire. After this, I'm gonna go live and do readings for the signs, because the veil is ultra thin tonight, you guys. It is like, it's Halloween, right? Yes. The veil is very thin. Let me just tell you, Lumi, the past 2 days, I cannot sit in my bed without feeling like I'm gonna fucking lift, like my body's gonna lift off the bed. It's vibrating so hard that I don't understand it exactly per se, but I do feel somebody trying to like come through, but they just don't know how. And or maybe I'm blocking it because I'm like, oh my God, who are you?
That could be also like a new knowledge you're going to be grabbing. That's what it is. And you're like, I don't know if I'm ready for this yet.
Here's your intuition. You see how?
Yeah, I get the feeling for you. It's going to be like some sort of new insight you're going to grab. And I'd say when you're going through those feelings, you probably do this too. Automatic writing.
I do it all the time.
Just do that. If you feel like you're a little like,
thank you. Look at you. You're so funny, because last night when I was feeling that energy, I was like, I can't understand what exactly is coming through. Let me get up and write on my computer. And I didn't do it because honestly, I just like, can I just be a human for a second? I just want to fucking chill here, like be a fat ass, eat some junk food and watch TV, like leave me alone. But then they're like, bitch, like it's time. Like you manifested this. We got you. I've been telling everybody this for a long time. I know for a fact I'm going to come out with some shit. People are like, what? What is she talking about? But when I come out with it, just know that is happening. So somebody says one more question, and then we're gonna tune it out. And I'm gonna have her plug her stuff, but I'm also gonna put all her information at the bottom. Please share this information with others, you guys. This video is very informative. Share it with your friends that are still not woke and help them wake up a little bit. Okay, let's wake the world up together, light workers. Does your sign affect your karma, positive or negative?
That's a really good question. I'd say the one thing is Karma usually is found in the nodes. I talked about North Node, South Node. That's usually the themes that you're meant to break free from, which is the South. The North is where it's like the North Star. You're aiming to a new information, a new level of awareness. Whatever sign you're given, it's not karma at all. No, if you're like a Pisces, they say you have a lot of karma, you've gone through a lot. It's just the sign that has a level of compassion of the other signs. They have this knowledge of knowing other people's lives or how they're living their lives and things like that.
Also, guys, karma doesn't mean negative. Karma means action. In Sanskrit, the definition for karma, it means to take action.
Yeah.
So it basically, like when we say karma, it's like take action on this thing that's bothering you. Take action that keeps you held back,
And that's the South Node that you're talking about. The Dharma is the North. Mm-hmm. Karma is the page.
Dharma's North, karma is South.
Yes, and that's the level of
telling us that. See, Dharma North.
That's a good question. But with the sign you're given, no, definitely not. I don't see it.
What I do feel is like when you come here with a specific sign, whatever that sign, like I would say, look at the negative aspects of that sign.
Yes, the shadow.
See what you need to work on, like lesson wise, right? So, for instance, again, like Virgo could be very OCD, very controlling, and very possessive. And so, if I don't control that energy, I'm gonna go off the deep end. You know what I'm saying? I've met some Virgos who are very like, one of I'm not gonna mention it, but somebody that was very physically abusive with me. They were the same sign as me, and they were possessive over my energy. Everything I did, they watched every little thing, and like it was on psychotic shit, right? Also, interestingly enough, a Pisces too. So both of them. So look at the negative aspects of your sign, and if you feel like you are portraying the negative aspects of your sign a lot and you keep constantly going towards that,
that's almost like the karmic themes,
right? Yeah.
All
right, guys. Lumi, I love you and thank you so much. You guys, just so you know, I am planning on doing like a TED Talk type of thing, which is where I'm going to pre-sell tickets and everybody can come in and we're going to have Lumi speak and answer questions, and I'm going to speak and do mediumship, and we'll have like, maybe one or two other people there. I am doing this TED Talk thing. It is coming up. Like I said, like she said, at this time, I'm just trying to figure out how, where, I've got some money saved up. I'm trying to invest in things, trying to take it to the next level here. You know what I mean? And especially with Albanian women, I'm just going to say, because Lumi's Albanian like me, I'm going to say, I have to say, like with Albanian women, we do like support each other a lot, but a lot of them are like, they won't like actually support each other. And which is why I want to push that kind of agenda too. Like, we got to support each other. And especially when it comes to spiritual stuff, because a lot of Albanians are very gifted, but they'll be like, oh no, I don't talk about that because, God, they go to hell. No, bitch. We fucking.
But they do behind closed doors.
We've been witches since the fucking beginning of time. Okay. I don't consider myself a witch or anything. I don't even have a label for myself, not even religiously anymore. I'm just
mystics.
Right.
We're mystic beings.
Exactly. So Lumi, really quick, just let everybody know. First of all, I want to thank you for real, for coming. This was one of the most enlightening podcasts that I think I'm going to do. I will have you on as a guest again, and we will have you on again because I just want to give as much knowledge and information as people as possible. But I want you to plug everything that you want to plug. This is your time to shine.
Yeah, my handle on Instagram is at the Celestial Astrologer. And like the Celestial Astrologer, that's my website, thecelestialastrologer.com. Those are my two main places to go to find out where I am and what I do and all the services that I offer. And that's it.
All right. So
I'm also on Clubhouse too, but I'm not really active on there.
Yeah, I'm not really either. Honestly, Clubhouse, I feel like, here's the thing about me. I feel like when people, I've been on Clubhouse a few times and it's great because they network and stuff like that. It's nice, but I did notice like they'll network for that one event and then never it's like, for me, it's like, all right, with the fakeness, I can't deal with it. And also I feel like people hide behind a shadow when they're like on the phone. It's like they could pretend to be someone they're not. And like, I don't like that. I like to see a person.
Yes, I'm like that too. Yeah, I agree.
I feel like I can read a person's energy more with like typing than I can with their voice, because people really do hide behind like the shadow self. Like I don't trust it, but I like it. I like it because you could talk about shit you can't talk about on Instagram and Facebook because the man. Anyway, so love and light to you guys. Thank you guys for joining. I am going to say goodnight to you. I love you, Lumi. You're amazing in every way possible. You are a fucking goddess. Period. And I wish and pray that all the blessings of life just are showered upon you because you so deserve
Oh,
it.
thank you. You
I
too.
really do. I know. I,
Bless you.
I already feel that energy reciprocated. It's cool. It's good. All right, guys. Love and light to you guys. We are going to tune out of this podcast. Thank you guys for joining. I'm going to come back in and do some readings because it's Halloween and why not, right? Okay, guys. Love and light to you. Bye, Lumi. I love you.
Bye.
I'll see you later. Bye. Guys, go follow her. Bye.